Whether new shooter, longtime gun owner, or even police officer or soldier, your handgun needs a Crimson Trace laser sight or light. Get the confidence and reliability you need to protect family, home, and country. Crimson Trace.
Broadcasting nationwide, this is Tom Gresham's Gun Talk. Your views, advice, and questions are the driving force of gun talk. Call Tom now at 866-TALK-GUN. That's 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Or reach out to us via email at tom@guntalk.com. Let us know what you think about the gun-related issues of the day. Now, here's Tom Gresham.
Lots to talk about. Still have a lot to talk about. Tom Gresham here. It's 866-TALK-GUN. We'll get you in here. Shoot me an email, tom@guntalk.com. Don't forget to enter for a chance to win. Taurus is giving away guns. Cool stuff. If you go to guntalk.com/win, guntalk.com/win, you can enter for a chance to win, well, a couple of guns to give it away. You'll see all the details when you get there. Looking for your comments, stories about gun safety. I tell you what, just a little while, I'm going to tell you, I actually had somebody ask me in an email, said, Tom, you've been talking about gun safety and accidental discharges, negligent discharges. Have you ever had an ND? Yep, 2 of them. I'll tell you about those in just a little while, too. My NDs, how it came about, what happened. We're looking for your stories, gun safety stories, either close calls or you watch somebody do something stupid at the range, how you handle it. Love to get that. We all learn by sharing our experiences. If I tell you how I screwed up, with some luck, maybe that helps you to not screw up, at least in that way. Now, certainly all of us are pretty adept at finding new ways of screwing up. But if we can reduce the available options by trying to learn from other people's mistakes, it just improves our odds that we're not going to screw up as much. So one of the things we do as a society is we try to share our stories. We try to learn. It's oral history. It's learning. It's passing along these lessons. And yes, it's embarrassing. So yeah, hey, I screwed up. I'll tell you about that as we get a little further into it. We do have some people who have called in. If you'd like to join us, 866-TALK-GUN. We had a caller earlier, had a bad phone line, but the question was, hey, I got my new NRA knife, and I found that by flicking it hard, I could actually get the blade to pop open. Could I get in trouble with this? And obviously that's a reference to when we were talking about what's going on in New York, where the police are charging people who have pocket knives with having an illegal gravity knife. Because if a police officer can take your knife, just a regular folder, and flip his hand, and maybe it's a big old guy and he's really powerful, whatever, but if the blade can come out by flipping it somehow, they call that a gravity knife and you will be charged with the crime in New York. Now, I don't know of any other place that's doing that right now, but just kind of forewarned is forearmed. And yes, the answer to that question is if you are in New York and you had that knife and a policeman found it, you could get charged with having an illegal gravity knife. It's one of the reasons, I will tell you, I no longer carry a pocket knife clipped to my pants pocket. You know how guys walk around, you can see the clip on the knife? So it's basically showing, hey, it's like open carrying a knife, if you will. I just don't need to have that conversation with a police officer who may or may not know the law, but he'll win, at least until we get to court. I just don't invite the attention. So I just put my pocket knife in my pocket now. I don't clip it onto my pocket. You do what you want to do. I'm just telling you that's what I do. Line 2, Steve's with us out of Washington State. Hey, Steve, what you looking for?
Hello. Actually, I just want to know about an air rifle Dana or, what is it, Gamo?
Gamo, G-A-M-O, uh-huh.
Yeah, and I also just got some literature in the mail from Air Force air guns.
Okay, what is it that I'm having trouble understanding you? What are you asking me?
I guess what I'm looking for is sea kayak, and I want to be able to carry an air gun with me in my kayak. And what would you suggest?
Okay. There's a website I'm going to send you to. It's called it's the Air Gun Mall, basically. It's Pyramid Air, Pyramyd, 2 Y's, Pyramid Air. They have air guns from $80 up to hundreds and hundreds of dollars. You can get and I think you're specifically looking for something that doesn't have the CO2 cartridge, or you don't have to pump it up with a scuba tank. They have a number of break action, cocking, spring-powered air guns they'll shoot at 1,000 to 1,200 feet per second. I see here's a Crossman for $80, which, man, that's cheap. That's a real good price here. Has some fine work bows, some Dianas at $250 and up. But the website is Pyramid Air, Pyramyd air.com. And you can find tons of information about adult air guns. There are, man, there's a whole world out there for those things. And they are tons of fun. Line 4, Bill is with us out of Battle Mountain, Nevada. Hey, Bill, how you doing?
Good. How's it going?
Good.
I was just going to comment on that right-handed shooter and left-eye dominant. Mm-hmm. And that's how I am, and I always have been. But I think it's like the perfect opportunity to learn to shoot with both eyes open. Mm-hmm. I always have shot with both eyes open, and it just seemed, natural and stuff. So I don't know about switching over to try and shoot left-handed, but...
Well, here's the thing, and everybody always says shoot with both eyes open, and that's a great advice, except it doesn't work. The problem is shooting with both eyes open doesn't mean that one or the other eye isn't taking over. I mean, one eye has got to be taken over. So if you're shooting from the wrong shoulder, it's like with shotguns. I shoot with both eyes open, but I can't shoot from the right shoulder with both eyes open because my left eye is so dominant. I will be looking down the side of the barrel. I can't possibly line the barrel up on anything. So, yes, you shoot with both eyes open, but you still need to be shooting off the correct shoulder. And the correct shoulder is the shoulder that matches which is your dominant eye. So, with scopes, a lot of people close an eye or partially close an eye with iron sights that do that. You do what you got to do, but I understand what you're saying. But what I think maybe you're saying is it doesn't matter if you switch, if you shoot with both eyes open. Well, if you shoot with both eyes open, it really matters because then your dominant eye is going to take over. And if it's the wrong one, you're looking down the side of the barrel. You're not looking down the sight. So I understand. And if you can do it, if you can shoot with both eyes open and your dominant eye is lined up, you will shoot better. You will have better peripheral vision. But you still have to be shooting off the correct shoulder, which is your left eye dominant or your dominant eye side. Let's go talk to Mark in Chugiak, Alaska. He's on line 2, or actually looks like maybe line 1. I'm not sure where he is now. We'll track Mark down. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Tom. Hey, same subject, the eye dominance thing. My dad, of course, told me to shoot right-handed, even though I'm left eye dominant, and he didn't understand that I was left eye dominant.
Right.
And did the same thing. I just had to close an eye and got by that way. I still remember reading Bowhunter magazine when I was a teenager and having that epiphany that something's wrong, and that's what it is, reading about eye dominance. I really didn't do anything about it much until I was college age, and I started to experiment a little bit with shooting off my left shoulder. I shot 1 or 2 deer that way. It was really convenient to be able to just switch the rifle around to the other side when the deer came up on the wrong side.
Right.
And the thing was, I was shooting for the rifle team at the time at my college, and I was reluctant to change anything. Of course, consistency is everything in precision rifle. But when I graduated from college, I said, this is it. I'm going to switch. And I was living in Indiana at the time. Dove hunting was a big deal down there, and so that's really what did it for me was a couple of dove hunts, which with my level of shotgun shooting at that time was probably almost 3 boxes of shells for each trip out, unfortunately. Right. But it did work through that system of pulling up on the left side, and now that's what feels natural. And it really didn't take that long. I'm 50 years old now. But it really wasn't that big a deal. after, as I say, just a couple of dove hunts. And that's what felt natural, and I started shooting a whole lot better shotgun, and I think probably a little better on rifle, too.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know. It's almost impossible to do it shotgun. The only way I know of to shoot from the wrong shoulder shotgun is to have some kind of a patch or a dot or something on your glasses to block the vision from the wrong, the off eye from your dominant eye. It forces your non-dominant eye to look. But, boy, you would be so much better. Everybody would be better off, particularly wing shooting off the correct shoulder for that. Mark, I appreciate that. Thank you for that info. Let's see, 866-TALK-GUN will get you in here. Tell you what, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll take your calls. I'm Tom Gresham, and this is Gun Talk.
The Smith & Wesson Bodyguards. Carry more comfortably, walk more confidently. When it comes to personal protection, nothing beats a Bodyguard. Choose the lightweight, compact, and concealable Bodyguard 380 pistol or the Bodyguard 38 revolver, both with a built-in laser sight. The Smith & Wesson Bodyguards. Carry more comfortably, walk more confidently.
Inaccurate is just plain worthless. Doesn't matter if you're shooting for a national championship or just trying to beat your friend. You need accurate ammo. Nosler's match-grade handgun ammunition delivers. You get Nosler sporting handgun and custom competition bullets in Nosler head-stamped brass, loaded to the same strict tolerances as Nosler's match-grade rifle ammo. Handgun accuracy through match-grade ammo. Available in 9mm, 40, and 45. Visit Nosler.com.
Hi, I'm Michael Bain. You know I hate cleaning guns, so anything that makes that job faster and easier is definitely a plus. And that's where Bore Tips come in. These reusable, lint-free cleaning swabs make cleaning a breeze. And the tighter-fitting Bore Tips do a better job on barrels than cotton mops or patches. Hey, it's a dirty job. Let Bore Tips help. To find a dealer, visit boretips.com.
Gel on a holster? Wow, that sounds really comfortable.
Oh, it is comfortable. Comfort Holsters puts a luxurious gel cushion between you and your handgun for amazing comfort. Plus, their super soft suede really lets your skin breathe. Comfort Holsters come with a 6-week buyback guarantee and a lifetime warranty. Right now, get 10% off when you enter the code TOM. ComfortHolsters.com. ComfortHolsters.com.
The .45 Auto, also known as the 1911, is the standard other defensive pistols are measured against. No matter what pistol you carry, techniques developed around the 1911 are vital. You know you need training, and you know your concealed carry class definitely was not training. Now Gun Talk presents an exciting DVD, Fighting with the 1911 with Tiger McKee. Tiger's unique training style will have you drawing, moving, shooting, and running your gun better, no matter what style pistol you prefer. At ShopGunTalk.com, you can order our DVDs of Tiger's instruction. ShopGunTalk.com also has a 2-DVD set, including Concealed Carry 1. Get both for the information you know you need. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com has DVDs, books, and other essential gear. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
You already know Liberty Safes are great values. Now they're offering an even sweeter deal for Gun Talk listeners. At LibertySafe.com, click on the Fat Boy Safe and type in TOM. Liberty will give you up to $250 off your purchase. Protect the things you value most. LibertySafe.com, click the Fat Boy Safe, promo code TOM, save up to $250. That's LibertySafe.com. LibertySafe.com.
Famous radio consultant once said he'd be off the air in a year. Whoops! Defending your Second Amendment rights since 1995 on over 150 radio stations nationwide. You're listening to Gun Talk with Tom Gresham.
All right, Tom Gresham here. Also, we've got Michelle Cleland, Michael Hooper, Jim Kinsey here. All the after-show crowd, we're going to be hanging around doing all of this, having some fun. We, last week for the after show, got into, Lord knows why, talking about Michael's crummy truck. And we came up with ways of basically destroying it. Well, you guys are sick. You know that. I like that about you, though, because you came up with even more. You kept sending us more and more ideas of how we're going to destroy Michael's truck. Now, I don't know how Michael feels about that. We'll have to talk about that during the after show. But, I mean, we had people say, well, drop a Liberty Safe on it. Of course, there were votes for Tannerite. Then we had one that was basically used as a fundraiser. I kind of like that one. That was kind of a fun deal. So, I mean, that's the kind of crazy stuff we talk about during the after show. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it is a non-broadcast, online-only version of Gun Talk. It's kind of a free-for-all where we go all over the place. And you never know what we're going to do. So if you haven't downloaded it yet, you're missing out. I just suggest that you can go to guntalk.com and you can drill down, click on listen. You can find it that way. In a lot of ways, if you are already getting the podcast, of course, you're already getting that. So anyway, well, we're talking more truck destruction when we get into the after show today. I promised you I would talk about the ND's negligent discharges that I had. We have a couple of people who've called in and want to talk about theirs. But let me get this one done. First one was probably I was 16 or 17. I'd been out dove hunting, as I remember, using a Browning A5 semi-auto shotgun. It had, if you will remember, a magazine cutoff lever on the side of the receiver. So when you flip this lever, the idea was you could work the action and it would not feed any of the shells from the magazine. They stayed in the magazine. The idea being that if you wanted to change load, say you were duck hunting and some geese came in, you want to throw a goose load in without having to rack, and empty out everything in the magazine, you could flip the magazine cutoff, open the action, throw in a goose load, close it, and you'd have at least one goose load ready to go. I didn't, and here's, I guess the teaching point on this is make sure you fully understand your gun. I didn't fully understand this, so here's what I did. Follow the progression closely. Unloading the gun, I was fooling around with the magazine cutoff. I flipped the magazine cutoff, not knowing what it was. And then I worked the bolt back, flipped out the loaded round, worked it several times, nothing else came out, thinking, okay, the gun's empty. Then for whatever reason, I flipped them. You have to do this in exactly the right order to get this wrong. I flipped the magazine cutoff lever, worked the bolt one more time. 12-gauge shotgun. What have I just done? Yes, I just put a loaded round into the chamber. Walking back into the house, gun over my shoulder, for whatever reason, pulled the trigger. Gun was pointed up in the air, didn't hit anybody, just scared the absolute bejesus out of me, and everybody in the house came out. So that was my 16-year-old mistake. The other one was at the range, probably 15 years ago, and that was simply one of, I was using an AR, had it pointed down range, and was manipulating it and pulled the trigger when I did not intend to. Startled me, but it didn't hurt anybody. Both times, muzzle was pointed in a safe direction. So those are my two NDs, not accidents, negligence. Fortunate both times, but it does point out how you got to keep that muzzle pointed in a safe direction. So there you go. Bob is called in from Tulsa, Oklahoma. He's on line 3. Hello, Bob. You got your own story, I gather.
Oh, I sure do. And to make matters worse, I'm a pistol instructor here in Oklahoma, and I should know better.
Uh-huh.
I bought a brand new revolver. I won't mention the name brand, okay? Mm-hmm. And in the store, I indexed it through it's a 357 Magnum is one of those that holds 7 rounds. So I indexed it 7 times. It went around smoothly. I said, okay, yeah, great. Okay. They did the background check. I bought it. I went out to the United States Shooting Academy, and fortunately the berms are in a U formation. I was the only one in that area. Mm-hmm. I loaded up with some 38 Special, and the first 3 rounds went off fine. The 4th one, I noticed it was grinding because the cylinder wasn't it wasn't honed to specifications. Okay, uh-huh. And I finally got the 4th one to go, and then the 5th one just stuck. And I said, So I took it down. I turned the gun sideways. I looked at it. I took my left hand, and I was trying to manipulate the cylinder to go to that next round while I was pulling back on that hammer. Now, that alone was okay. However, I said, well, this son of a gun, so I thought I need more fingers on this thing to make it do what it's supposed to do. So I put my finger on the trigger. Now I'm pulling back as hard as I can. I'm also trying to index it with my left hand, and I'm pulling back with my thumb, and you know what? I was successful, and that sucker went off, and I just went like, oh, my. I mean, I got a little burn on my hand, and I just sit there for a second looking at the gun like, what did I just do?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, oh, am I alone? Is there a dead body over here to my left? I slowly looked to the left. Oh, fortunately, I was there alone, and it went into the berm. But you know, that is, your mind, my mind at least, went from shooting and the four laws of shooting, or at least the four important ones, especially keeping your finger off the trigger so your sights are lined up, to, well, this gun's not working. I need to troubleshoot it. And for whatever reason, I didn't think about what might happen afterwards.
You know, that brings up something. We did a piece with Rob Latham recently. He said, look, he says, I want to do a little piece on safety. I said, okay, I never know what Rob's going to do. And he had a great saying, and it applies to this, Bob. He said, a gun is always a gun. I said, what do you mean? He says, just what we're talking about, just what you said, Bob. Even when you're working with it, you know, no matter what you're doing, it's still a gun. And Bob, listen, thank you. It takes guts to admit that. I appreciate you sharing that. And it's one of those deals you take away from that, you go, wow, if a firearms instructor can do that, we all have to be careful. But Latham's point was, look, I don't care what you're doing, if you're clear to malfunction, if there's a problem with it or what, it's always a gun. And it's why you will find those of us who've been around this a long time, we are absolutely fanatical about gun safety, about well, you know, it wasn't loaded. I don't care. You know, you think it's not loaded. We know what can happen. We've seen it happen. We've actually done it. That's why we are such fanatics about safety, and it's why you need to be a
Tom
fanatic
Gresham's
also.
Gun Talk is broadcast nationwide every Sunday. If you can't hear Gun Talk where you live, call your local talk format station and clue them in on Gun Talk. Stay tuned. We're coming right back. Now broadcasting nationwide on radio, via satellite, and through downloads, iTunes, the Gun Talk app, and other podcast clients. You're listening to Gun Talk with Tom Gresham.
Michael just sent me an email, a picture of his truck. Michael, I'm not going to say that it looks like somebody already has killed your truck, but it does look like it ought to be put out of its misery. And we'll continue this conversation on the after show. We have lots of ideas of how we're going to kill Michael's truck. Pretty simple. All right. Oh, my goodness. Let's see here. Yeah, we'll take two at that price. Very good. Let's go up to line 2. Jeff is with us. Flatonia, Texas. Hey, Jeff, what you doing?
Oh, Tom, I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to be doing here in the next couple of weeks as far as my safety and traveling. I've got some out-of-state work I'm going to be doing, and I'm flying into St. Louis, and Missouri and Texas have reciprocity with each other as far as concealed handguns, and I'm going to have to be crossing the river into Illinois, and and I guess what I'm looking for is just a really good resource as to where I can go and figure out, you know, what I can and can't do. I've emailed the Illinois State Police, and of course I know there is no reciprocity with Illinois, and it sounds like I can have a concealed, being that I have a Texas permit, I can have a concealed firearm in the vehicle, but then once I get out of the vehicle, it has to be locked up or unloaded and locked. And not totally
wait, back up. I don't want you to go too far. No, you cannot have a concealed handgun on you in the car in Illinois. No.
Okay, maybe I misread what he was saying, but that's
No, you can have a gun in your car in Illinois if it is unloaded and in a locked case.
Okay.
And you're traveling through the state. This is where you can really get yourself into trouble because, you could get charged with a serious crime if you don't understand this. There's a website for you to go to. It's called handgunlaw.us. It's singular, handgunlaw. It's not .com, it's .us, handgunlaw.us. And you can click on every state you're going to go through. It's going to tell you what the laws are there. But I understand that, concealed carry in your car is concealed carry. Just because you're in your car doesn't mean it's not concealed carry. So if you don't have a permit, or if your permit isn't honored in that state, you can't do that. Now, there are states where you can have a loaded gun in your car without a permit. But generally speaking, if you put it on and it's concealed on your person, that doesn't qualify. But again, the laws change every time you cross a state line. What other states are you going to?
Right now, that's all I know of on this jaunt. I'll be gone for a couple weeks, doing some store resets. I'm going to be in and out of various places, and really just at night, I'd like to have something beside the bed when I'm in a hotel in a strange area. Of course, I'd like to have it on me all the time, but I do understand that in Illinois, I know I can't do that. When I'm in Missouri, I can. Or if I'm better bringing a long gun, bringing a shotgun for protection.
Okay, no.
Or in a room.
All right, stop. Stop guessing. Go do the research. In Illinois, they have their own set of laws there. If you don't have a FOID card, F-O-I-D, Firearms Owner's Identification Document, then you better have that gun unloaded and locked up in a case. In other words, not available for self-protection. Don't guess at this stuff. Don't imagine. Don't think what's reasonable, what's rational. Go find out, because you could get yourself in real serious legal trouble. And, now, having said that, some people say, well, I don't care, I'm going to carry anyway. Knock yourself out. Just understand that the state prison is ready for you if you're willing to go there. So it's serious stuff, but don't guess at this. Go check the websites. Check handgunlaw.us. NRA has good websites on what the state laws are out there. But please, everybody, and look, thank you for your call. I'll travel safely, Jeff, but everybody, don't guess at this stuff. It's too important, and you can get yourself in way, way too much trouble if you get it wrong. So, it's just simple stuff, okay? All right, let's do this. Take a quick break here. We'll come back. We've got some calls. We have some availability for you. We've got a couple of lines open if you'd like to join us. Doesn't really matter what you want to talk about. If you got a gun you want to tell me about, something you've had for a long time, or maybe even it's a brand new one, something you said, hey, I got to tell you about my new gun. I love that stuff. And if you're seeking permission to buy, call me. I can provide the dispensation you need to buy whatever it is that you truly want. 866-TALK-GUN.
In November, a few races for U.S. Senate could determine whether more anti-gun laws are in our future and whether your rights will be infringed. Will be infringed. Don't risk your rights. The future of gun rights is in your hands. Be a gun voter. #GunVote. For more information, visit gunvote.org. Gunvote.org.
The new Walther PPX offers a smooth trigger, ambidextrous magazine release, 3 integral safeties, rugged construction, and the famous Walther ergonomic grip. All this at a great price. Right now, get a free magazine, holster, and dual mag pouch when you purchase a PPX. Feel the perfect fit of the Walther PPX at your local gun dealer or go to waltherarms.com for more information. That's waltherarms.com.
One machine, one operator. Each machine is run by a single pair of hands. Hands that spend all day, every day, learning the machine inside and out. We don't believe in quotas. The point is crafting faultless ammunition, no matter how long that takes. It's not quick or easy. Being the best never is. Black Hills Ammunition. It started with our hands.
You may be a new shooter, a longtime gun owner, or even a police officer or soldier. No personal defense handgun is fully equipped without a Crimson Trace laser sight or light. Get the confidence and reliability you need to protect family, home, and country. Call 800-442-2406 or visit crimsontrace.com for a free copy of our new laser training video, The Laser's Edge, Crimson Trace.
Hi, I'm Tom Gresham. For more than 40 years, I've been watching an environmental disaster in my backyard, and it actually impacts all sportsmen in America. I'm talking about the massive loss of land on the Louisiana coastline. The U.S. Geological Survey said the swamps and marshes of coastal Louisiana are among the nation's most fragile and valuable wetlands. That land is disappearing. The Mississippi River Delta hosts as many as 10 million ducks and geese every winter. These are birds which migrate northward through the states, all the way to Canada. The wetlands of the Delta support some of America's best fresh and saltwater fishing. And here's the deal. The wetlands of the Mississippi River Delta are disappearing at a rate of 1 football field every hour. 1 football field every hour. Gone. We can reconnect the river with its wetlands and restore the Delta, but we need your help. Please visit vanishingparadise.org. That's vanishingparadise.org.
TopGunSupply.com carries a large selection of fine firearms and accessories. Get all the parts you need for your Sig Sauer, HK, and Glock pistols. Grips, screws, recoil springs, sights, barrels, magazines, holsters. The list goes on. Our knowledgeable sales staff, professional service, great prices, and super fast shipping are here to help you. Check us out today. TopGunSupply.com. TopGunSupply.com.
There's never a reason to be without your gun talk. You can even listen on YouTube. Just search for Gun Talk Radio Show or youtube.com/Gun Talk TV. Now, more Gun Talk with Tom Gresham.
All right, back with you, 866 Talk Gun. I want to drop all the way down and grab Barry on line 3. He's in Carson City, Nevada, because we want to talk about some pistols. Hey, Barry, what you looking for?
Hey, Tom. Yeah, I'm looking for a new 45 that I mean, I've shot all kinds of them, and I'm just looking for one that feels good, really good in my hand. I like the 1911, but you know, after packing it, if you pack it all day long, it gets a little bit heavier than sometimes you want it to be. Yeah. And I'd like to find a 45 that would feel as good in your hand as, like, say, the Browning High Power, but I haven't been able to do it yet.
There actually is a new one that you might want to look at. Well, first of all, let me get this out of the way. If you really like 1911s and you want a lightweight one, Smith & Wesson makes their 1911 in scandium, which is really an aluminum alloy, but with a little bit of scandium in there, and it really makes it much stronger. Make it really as strong as steel, but it's very lightweight. So, having said that, the new one that I'd like to have you at least consider is the Springfield Armory XDS. That's XDS as in Sam. It's a single stack 45, very thin. It's thinner than a 1911. It's much lighter than a 1911. Has a very good trigger, and I mean, it's a shooter. We took these things out and we were shooting them and hitting steel targets, man-sized steel targets at 110 yards with these little guns, 3.5 and 4-inch barrels. Amazing guns. I think you would really like. Have you seen the Springfield XDS?
No, I haven't. The only thing that I've seen in the compact model is the new HK.
Mm-hmm. Did you like that?
It was nice. It had that recoil reduction, some type of system in it, which 45's never bothered me, so I really didn't notice it. Yeah. But it was okay, but it felt a little short. I got pretty good sized hands, and it felt a little short on my hand,
Well, and of course, that's one thing that happens. If you get to the smaller guns, you're going to have a little bit shorter grip. And if you got big hands, you kind of have to wrap it around the gun, but you're going to have some part of your gun, or your hand rather, kind of hanging out there in the breeze. So I don't know, honestly, what else can be done about that. When they're just not very big, you don't have a lot to hang on to, man.
True.
So I tell you what, I would look at the XDS. I'm just looking now. I went on the website Top Gun Supply. They have a lot of great guns. That's one of the places I like to look to see what the prices are these days. I like to go to Top Gun Supply and Gallery of Guns, and I'm looking XDS and 45 Bitone, $549. Let's see. Yep. Oh, here's one at $499 for the all black version. So that's not too bad. It's I'll tell you, it's got a great trigger. It's a real shooter. I love those guns. So just a thought. Take a look at the Springfield Army XDS. If you're looking for a lightweight carry gun in 45, I think that's a pretty good option out there. Single stack. Now, if you want double stack, the world opens up to you. And there are a lot of other choices out there. But for thin and light single stacks, that's going to get you more of that. I appreciate that. Thanks, Barry. Again, let's go down to line 2. Steve's with us. Steve, you're looking to buy a SIG? What you looking for?
I was looking at, the ironic part was I was been looking at a handgun for a while. Mm-hmm. I ended up, ironically, buying my son one before I bought one for myself.
Okay.
as a present, but I guess that's kind of what dads do. I was looking at the SIG 2022 in 9mm, and my only concern was I've heard people talk that it has a really long trigger pull if you use it, in the double action phase.
Okay, wait. I mean, I've
never shot the gun. So
okay, have you been able to get your hands on one?
Oh well, I can most certainly go to a store. I've looked at them, I've held them, but I like the way it felt in my hand, but I've never shot one.
Right. Well, I guess the question is, if you've handled it and you've dry fired it, you know what the trigger's going to feel like. So do you have a preference for double action versus single action? Can you handle the kind that goes from double action to single action?
Well, that I don't know either. The only handgun I own part of this is just a Ruger single action 22 pistol. I mean, every gun I own part of that is just shotguns, rifles for hunting, that kind of stuff.
Well, I would say if you can get yourself to a range where you could rent these guns, try them out and shoot it and see what you like. I'll just tell you, as good as they are, and I love SIGs, I'm not crazy about the double action, single action setup. And they make single action only guns, and so I tend to gravitate to that. But, and I understand why that is, I started on 1911s. So in education, they call that the law of primacy. The thing you learn first is what stays with you the longest. And so I learned on single action triggers. So those are the ones I really like. So I never really learned to master the long double action. And then for the second shot, it changes to the single action. What you may want to do, if you like SIGs, take a look at some of their single action only versions, because they've got some. And I would, take a look at those. And of course, there are some other single action options. But honestly, the way to go here is to go rent them, try them. That's definitely going to be the way to go here. There's no substitute on guns for getting a chance to shoot it. And sometimes you can rent at a range, and if you can't, maybe you can find an instructor who owns them and say, look, I'd like to buy an hour instruction with you, and I want to use your gun. There's a lot of ways to get there. Or maybe you just know somebody that owns one and say, hey, can I go out shooting with you? But try them if you possibly can before you buy. But that whole single action, double action, it's purely personal preference. It's not right, it's not wrong, it's just wherever you like. I know what I like, but that doesn't mean that's going to be right for you.
Join the NRA via Tom Gresham's Gun Talk website and receive $10 off the regular membership price. Log on to guntalk.com for details. You're listening to Tom Gresham's Gun Talk. Just because we're wrapping up on the air doesn't mean we're done talking about guns. Stick around for the after show. It's our podcast-only version designed to include all the stuff we simply couldn't fit into a regular show. Call in now at 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Now, back to Tom.
Just got an email from Terry in Florida. It says, hey, I carry a 1911 all the time. I've got a crossbreed holster. It's comfortable. The weight's not an issue. Holster is the key. Well, that's a good point. You do need a good holster, and equally important, you need a good belt. Good belt. If you bought it at a department store, it's not a good belt. It's just not. It's not a gun belt. You need a gun belt. A belt that's designed to carry a 2-pound piece of steel in a holster without rolling over and keeping it comfortable. The belt is key. Fabric belts, I like the Wilderness Tactical for the nylon synthetic. For leather, Crossbreed Holsters has them. A number of holster makers have them. There's an outfit called S&G, the letters S and G, leather. I think it's S&G, S&A. I got to go look it up. Made real good holster. They make real good leather. So anyway, just a thought. By the way, one of my most comfortable guns I carry, and I carry a lot of different guns at various times. I carry a Smith & Wesson Scandium 1911 45 in an old Milt Sparks Summer Special holster, just because I've been using those forever. Comfortable. And I don't find it to be too heavy. I like that Scandium 1911. But, then again, this morning I was carrying a Springfield Armory XD 9mm. So, you can't go by what I do, all right? That's the way it goes. Line 3, Steve's with us out of Oklahoma. Hey, Steve.
Hi, Tom.
Yes, sir. How can I help you?
I'm a 1911 fan, but I'm not a very big guy, and it's a little too heavy for concealed carry. So I went out and bought a Colt Mustang Pocket Light 380, and I'm wondering what's the best ammo, the hottest ammo I can get for that little 380.
Here's the thing. What you want is good bullets in your ammo, good expanding bullets. Hot ammo may not be the best. What you're looking for is Nosler defense ammo. It's good stuff. Black Hills makes good defensive ammo, expanding bullets. Barnes has good ammo. The guys over at Double Tap Ammo load up a lot of cool stuff. You want to see some really nice stuff? Check out doubletapammo.com. They make some really cool, good bullets. And they use good bullets for their ammo. The main thing is to have good bullets that are expanding and to make sure that they function well in your gun. So you've gone out and you've shot a couple of magazines worth in your gun with no malfunctions. Personally, I would like to fire 50 rounds of whichever my defensive ammo is to make sure that it really is going to work. So that's kind of where I am. Shoot cheap stuff for practice, use the good stuff for carry. I wouldn't get all wrapped around the axle about it being hot or anything. You're not knocking anybody down with a 380. You're probably not knocking them down with a 45 either. Statistically, there's almost no difference. It's the weird part between a 380 and a 45 in terms of stopping people. The main thing is to be able to hit them well and have a good expanding bullet that does what it's supposed to do. Oh yeah, and the other one, have a spare magazine. Always, 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 if you're carrying a semi-automatic, always carry a spare magazine. If the gun goes down in the middle of a fight, if there's a malfunction, if there's something, just strip out the old magazine, stick in a new fresh supply of ammunition, and get back in the fight. All right, if you're going to go out and do some shooting this week, be safe. Remember, keep that muzzle in a safe direction. Never for an instant, never for a fraction, never for a nanosecond do you let that gun point at anything you're not willing to destroy, ever. In the meantime, we're going to do some after show. You can call me right now and get in. 866-TALK-GUN. Join us for the craziness we call the after show. Be safe out there.